What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Guys, I want to talk about Odell Beckham. And, Odell Beckham was a really good receiver. I don't know what it is about him and not being able to stay on teams, but he's an elite receiver, excellent route runner. He's playing on the Rams. Now, shout out to y'all because we had to come back and beat y'all to get in the playoffs. It's 49ers over here, but it's all good though, right? And Odell Beckham had a baby by a model by the name of Lolo Wood. Now, Odell Beckham himself is a very light-skinned man. Not so light-skinned, but, he is not a dark man. He's light-skinned, lighter brown. Lolo Wood is racially ambiguous. I don't know if she's mixed with black and something else. Sometimes she even looks like she's white. But they had they had a baby shower. They're not married and everything like that. And I believe he wanted to even be in LA to be closer to her. But I want to compare the Odell Beckham situation to what we've seen with the Fresh and Fit podcast. And I know that some of you guys are going to want to know why. The reason why I'm saying this is because, number one, Odell Beckham historically, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong, you don't see him dating dark-skinned or dark brown black women. You just don't. And many people are not going to like me saying that, but that's true for a lot of NBA athletes. It is true for a lot of NFL athletes. Either guys are dating women that are racially ambiguous, meaning that they're red bone or they are, we would call them mulatto, are mixed, or they're not even black at all. At best, we're talking about Dominican. At best, we're talking about Puerto Rican or Latina. And even to the extremes, completely, if not solely, European or what we would consider Caucasian or white. Now, in the black community, when you are a black man and you have achieved some levels of success, it doesn't matter if your community or people supported you when you're on your way up. Like my brother SBK Lifestyle says, or SBK Speaks rather, women wait at the finish line. Okay? And now that you have made it to the finish line, and when you pick a woman that is non-black, people feel that if you don't say anything about black women, that you're off the hook. Because that's the argument, right? Well, if that's your preference is white women, then, or non-black women, then just go do that. Just don't say anything. But that's not true. Whenever you are a successful black man and you marry a woman that is not black, it is almost, if not just as bad as saying what Fresh and Fit is saying. Because what the black community feels like you are speaking with your actions. And we're going to say the black community because, to be honest, black men are not really valued in the black community. So their opinion is worthless. It's needless. Nobody cares. The black community's opinion is basically a matriarchal one. So once you have made that decision to go out of the community, and it's also shared by some of the groups that I believe, which are some of the stronger Pan-African or B1 communities. I also share that myself. You speak with your actions, right? And so when that action is spoken, what you're saying is black women are not good enough for me. I am going to take my resources, my talent, and my wealth, and I'm going to take that money and I'm going to invest and I'm going to basically generate, a whole relationship with a woman of another group. And the women in my community will not directly benefit from that unless it's my mom or my sister. Okay? And so when you see guys like Odell Beckham, when you see guys like some of the NBA players, your Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, and guys like Michael Jordan right now, LaMelo Ball, these guys that have racially ambiguous girlfriends, things like that, Devon Booker and all this stuff. What nobody ever asks is why. Why is Odell Beckham with Lolo Wood and not with who I would consider a classical foundational Black American woman. And let's just be honest, we do have women who are lighter skin, lighter tone, who are considered foundational Black Americans or ADOS or African American. We know that because we've seen that historically in HBCU beauty pageants, homecoming queens and whatnot. It was very, very popular in the Hampton universities of old and Howard universities of old, the North Carolina A&Ts of old. So we've always seen these people in our community, especially amongst the Black elite or upper class. So those women have always been available, not just there, even in the middle class Black America or even in the working class of Black America. But why do these men, especially those who live in the cities like Atlanta, those who are living in cities like Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, why are these men chasing these women that are not Black? And it comes back to, what is the attitude perception towards these men from African American women? How do they see themselves in relationships to the men that they want to be with? And how do they see themselves in competition with the women that the man that they want has options with? And it goes back to Obsidian's initial point in 2015. What you're seeing in Black America with the women, and also on a greater scale with our people. We are people that our standards are not as high. We are not looking to really compete as a community. Some of us do, many of us won't. But when it comes to relationships, that's where the least of the effort is surmounted is there. It's not there. You're not going to see Black people put many efforts on building two sorts of relationships. One is business. Most Black people don't like to foster those relationships. And personal relationships that are built on time investment, that are built on being innovative over time with the relationship. You're not going to see Black people, especially and I would say Black women, feel that, hey, there's energy and investment that needs to be had in these relationships. What the mentality is for many sisters and modern women is, if I get married, it's okay. In fact, I want the wedding. But I really don't want to be a wife on to the standards that the man sets for me. If he can't accept that from me, F him, I don't need him. I can do better by myself. But then these are the same women that when a guy like Odell Beckham, or if a guy like Fresh and Fit, and these guys start to go out and say something about whether they saying it with their words or their actions, Black women gonna have a problem with it either way. If you're a Black man and you get with a non-Black woman, even if you speak Black narratives, like Shannon Sharp won't touch a Black woman. He speaks on the behalf of the Black community very, 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 you would think he's Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. He speaks very strong about it with great force. But what do we hear? People call him out for, why don't you date Black women? And the reality is that Shannon Sharp has so many options available to him that when he looks at the Black women in his lineup, he probably feels that, well, you know what? The competition is not as for me as it is from these other ladies. And that's where the rubber meets the road in these conversations. And these are conversations that people just don't like to have. We will have them here. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Drunk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell, check out the first comment at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains an all-time high. I'm out.